Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to LSD. I miss everybody. I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope you enjoy this yummy class. If you're new to yoga, don't get too caught up in the poses. Just concentrate more on breathing. It's not yoga practice. Or it's not yoga perfect, it's yoga practice. And I'm just glad to be here. Let's start, and I'm glad you're here. Let's start in a reclined butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. Now this might seem kind of intense to start out with. Soles of your feet together to touch, knees wide. And this might be kind of an intense hip opener to start with. So use your blocks, prop up your knees. But what I really want you to do is take this time to begin to connect with your breath. Inhale, fill your belly, fill your chest. Exhale. This is Ujjayi breathing. Long inhales through your nose. Constrict the back of your throat and push the air out. It's also called ocean breathing. Just more importantly, just breathe. Begin to connect and make space for yourself here on the mat for the next hour. Do a little body scan. See where you might be holding tension. Check your face. Check your shoulders. And just breathe. I hope everybody got to get out and enjoy some sunshine today. And let's just breathe here about 3 or 4 more breaths in reclined butterfly. Now while you're here, check in with your head. That's kind of a silly question, I think, this day and age. It's like, check in. What do you think it's like? But it's okay. Because I'm sure everybody's feeling that way on some level. So allow yourself to feel the feels. But for the next hour, anytime you're up in your head, anytime you're about to drink the Kool-Aid, just come back to the breath. One more breath in here. One more breath out. And slowly bring your knees together and take your feet about hip-width distance apart and do a very slow windshield wiper. Windshield wiper your knees to the right. Windshield wiper your knees to the left. Yeah, take that stretch. Inhale back to center. And windshield wiper your knees again. To the right. To the left. And then bring your knees into your chest and squeeze them down. Snuggle your shoulder blades and your spine into your mat. And maybe rock back and forth. You can take your knees wide. Kind of maybe a half happy baby. Just release that lower spine. Give it some love. And then begin to rock and roll the length of your mat. And rock and roll a couple times. And it feels good. And then when you're ready, come up to tabletop. Stack your wrists underneath your shoulders. Knees under your hips. And begin cat-cow with your breath. So inhale to cow. Fill your belly. Lift your head, lift your neck. Exhale to cat, round your spine. Draw your belly button in and up. And just move with your breath. We're warming up the spine here. Giving our shoulders some love. And take any organic movement that feels good. Maybe you want to do a deep inhale to cow. Maybe you want to roll your hips to the left or the right. Just make sure you do both sides. Just make sure you keep breathing. Long inhales, fill your belly. Long exhales through your nose. And wherever you are, we're going to do about 3 more rounds of cat-cow. Last round, cat-cow. Maybe wiggle your hips a little bit, let your head hang. And let's take a big breath in. And now open your mouth and sigh it out. And remember that throughout your day. For some reason, today's been an anxious day. I've had to come back to the breath. One more time. And now come back to child's pose. Big toes to touch, knees wide. Walk your arms long out in front of you. Snuggle your hips down, forehead to the mat. And breathe. Really practice surrender here. Let go of anything that does not serve you at this moment. And just concentrate on the breath. Couple more breaths here in child's pose. One more breath in child's pose. and curl your toes. Place your hands under your shoulders and come up to down dog. But come up slowly on an inhale. Yes. Feel that first down dog of your practice. Paddle your feet. Wag your tail. And breathe. And again, take any movement that feels good. For me today, it just feels good to breathe and move. I'm not sure why I felt a lot of anxiety today. I guess the why is not important. It just was. So it feels good to be here and be present on my mat. And I thank y'all for joining me. One more breath in. Long exhale, let it out. And now walk to the top of your mat. Bend your knees. Take your feet about hip-width distance apart. I like to exhale my belly in and up, snuggle it up so I can bend and fold a little deeper. Don't lock out your knees. Let them be soft. Be real soft and kind with your body. And if it feels good, maybe interlace your hands behind you, your fingers, and fold. Couple more breaths here. Soft toes. Grab with the four pads of your feet. Release your hands wherever you are. Come back to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up. Like you just woke up in the morning, got out of bed, and you smell coffee. Exhale, fold. Oh, that felt good. Let's do that again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up. Maybe a slight back bend. Open your heart and your chest. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Ragdoll pose. Widen your stance. Bend your knees. Grab your opposite elbows. Let your head hang. Like it's heavy, it's a bowling ball. Sway side to side. And again, take any movement that feels good. Maybe walk your hands to the right. Take a little twist. And then if you really want to go there, bring your right arm up. Utilize your block. And again, we're just being playful, just experimenting. It's okay. And then come back to center. And then walk your hands to the left. And again, take a twist. See where it goes. And then come back to center. Breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Hands to heart center. Mountain pose. So I'm going to face you for mountain pose. Mountain pose. Yeah, ground into your mat with the four pads of your feet. Check your shoulders. Are they up here by your ears? Then roll them down and back. Soften your face. Blink your eyes shut. And I like to have my hands open, the palms of my hands open. I think of it as open to receiving and open to giving. Let that energy flow. Breath in. Breath out. Couple more times into Tadasana. Now inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold. Hands to the mat. And walk back to down dog. Paddle your feet. Wag your tail. Inhale your right leg high in the sky. Bend your knee and stack your hip. Say hello to your hips. One more breath. And then bring your right foot back to the mat. Breathe in. Open your mouth. Let it go. Now we're going to inhale our left leg high in the sky. Bend your knee. Stack your hip. And breathe. One more breath in here. Bring your left foot back to the mat. Breath in. Let it go. Come into high plank. You can always drop to your knees and then lower all the way down. And snuggle into the mat. Place one hand on top of the other and put your forehead onto your hands. And just breathe here. One more breath here in this little mini Shavasana. And then bring your hands where your thumbs are at the bottom of your rib cage. Tops of your feet flat on the mat. We're going to do baby cobra. Forehead to the mat. And let's take a collective breath here, a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, let it go. And now inhale your head, your chest, and your neck up off the mat. And if you can, if it feels good, without a lot of straining, use your breath. Lift your hands up off the mat. Tops of your feet still flat on the mat. Draw your shoulder blades together, elbows together, soft neck. One more round of breath. And then exhale all the way down. Let your arms hang at your side. Windshield wiper your knees back and forth. Back and forth. Release that lower spine. And let's set up for baby cobra again. Breath in, inhale your head, your neck, your chest, and lift your hands if it's in your practice. And And breathe one more time. And exhale all the way down. And show up your knees back and forth. Back and forth. Now let's come into Sphinx pose. So for Sphinx pose, you're up on your forearms. You still have the same posture as you did with Baby Cobra as far as the tops of your feet, flat on the mat. Forearms are kind of bent. It's a slight back bend, but I kind of like to take my hands just ever so slightly and give a little bit of a push. So I'm up just a little bit. Don't strain your neck. And breathe. One more breath here in Sphinx. And then push back to Child's Pose. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale your right arm up. So I'm in Child's Pose. I inhale up so my body comes up just a little bit. And then I tucked my arm underneath my left armpit. And then snuggle back snuggle my hips down toward my heels. Now while you're in this pose, you can have the palm of your hand up or palm of the hand down. So I'll demonstrate on this side. So here you go. Palm up, palm down. You can bend your extended arm and come into a half bind. Maybe have to readjust a little bit. Or maybe you want to be on your forehead. This is a really fun pose. You can get just all kinds of different variations. Get real curious about it. And always come back to your breath. Two more breaths on this side. And come back to Child's Pose. Breath in, breath out. Inhale your left arm up toward the ceiling, and then thread the needle underneath your right armpit. I'll do my other side here. And again, try the little variations. I kind of like this half bind. It opens up my shoulder. Makes me breathe more into my core so I'm not dumping into my arm and my shoulders. One more breath here. And then come back to Child's Pose. Breath in. Let it go. Now plant your hands on the mat, curl your toes, and come into high plank. Don't be afraid to readjust, whatever you have to do. And while you're here in high plank, get on your tippy toes, kind of bend your knees, get a little bouncy here, and then on your inhale, jump to Malasana squat. So I'll come over here. This is what it should look like. I know it seems scary at first to jump into it, but once you do it, it's kind of fun. And then once you're here, in Malasana squat. Find calm. Now, if this is too much, you can use a block, bolster, whatever works for you. But really utilize this time to find calm in the storm. Anytime you're lost in your head, you can always come back to the breath. And here right now in Malasana squat, find one thing to be grateful for. And take 3 deep cleansing breaths here. And now wherever you are, remove your block, whatever, come down to your booty. Come into a comfortable seated position with your legs out in front of you. We're going to set up for seated forward fold. Find your sit bones, which are just your butt bones, basically. That's a nice way of saying butt bones. Inhale your arms up. Lead with your chest. I like to bend my knees at first. Hinge at your hips. And then when you've gotten as far as you can, then fold. And then I do a kind of a little halfway lift, and then exhale, fold. Kind of snuggles my belly button in and up. It allows me to fold a little deeper. And just breathe. Now slowly walk yourself up out of the fold. And if you have a strap, use a strap. You can use anything around the house, a towel, a scarf, a tie, whatever. But get that close to you, get that handy, and then bring your arms out in front of you and just roll back flat on your mat, one vertebrae at a time. Oh, yeah. And then once you're here, just let it go. Take a big inhale and say, oh, yeah. Now, get comfy on your mat. Take your strap. And you're going to loop it over the bottom part of your right foot or left. And then you're going to take your right leg in the air. And then you can take the stretch where you want it to go. If you have a very long scarf or strap, let's see if I can do this. You can make a head hammock. Oops. Okay. There's a deep stretch for you. Make sure your grounded leg, your opposite leg stays grounded. If the head hammock doesn't work for you, bring your hands into the loop and take your hands up over your head. Just wherever you need it to go, whatever you need to feel. Just let the breath take you there. breath and movement in a meditative state. That's all yoga is. So breathe and move. One more breath here, wherever you are. And now take the strap or whatever you have, and maybe you want to just grab your toe with your arm. Maybe you can do that. Again, yogi's choice. But take the strap and take your right leg over to the right. Try to keep your opposite hip flat, and then look over your opposite shoulder. I like to get that inner rotation in my right hip. Try to keep my left hip down, so it's not necessarily about getting your foot to the floor. And remember, your strap's just a guide, so utilize your leg muscles. Two more breaths here, wherever you are. And now inhale your right leg up to center. Take the strap into your left hand and take your twist. So take your right leg to the left. Yes. And I like to have my hips stacked one on top of the other. Take that twist and then look over my opposite shoulder. And breathe. Feel that stretch in your glutes. If you have sciatica, that's good for sciatica. If you're sitting all day, one more breath here. And now inhale your right leg back to center. Release the strap. And bring your right knee into your chest. Oh, and hug it down. Do some ankle rolls. Roll to the left. Roll to the right. I got some major snap, crackle, and pop going on here. Fan your toes. And now bring your right leg flat on the mat. Let's take a big breath in. Open your mouth side out. And now grab whatever prop you have. Take it over your left foot. And then take the stretch where you want it to go. Keeping in mind that each side of your body is different. So be curious and be playful and check in. How does this pose feel on this side compared to your right side or your other side? Two more breaths here. Really squeeze your belly in on your exhale and see if you can fold just a little bit deeper. And now release the head hammock or wherever you are. Take the strap into your left hand and take your left leg to the left. And look over your opposite shoulder. You can always use a bolster or a block. Sometimes that will help you get that alignment that you need. And breathe. Now come back to center. Take the strap into your right hand and take your left leg to the right. Oh, this is that sweet spot. And breathe. On twists, if you can exhale longer than you inhale, your twist you can twist a little bit deeper. One more round of breath here. And inhale your left leg back to center. Release the strap. Bring your left knee into your chest. And do some ankle rolls. Roll to the left. Roll to the right. Fan your toes. Ooh, more snap, crackle, and pop. Ooh. And now bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Sway side to side, rock back and forth. And then when you're ready, do some rock and rolls. And do several. And then when you're ready, come up to down dog. Breath in. Breath out. Take movement, whatever feels good. Inhale your right leg high in the sky and bring it through for half pigeon. Now, don't be in such a hurry to get all set up. I like to get here and then I'll take my left leg and kind of scoot back. That automatically pulls my right leg forward, but that's what feels good for me. There are blocks. Put them under your hips. Keep that nice alignment. But once you get here, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, fold over. And get comfortable. Because we're going to be here for a few breaths. Now, if you have knee issues, you can do this on your back. You can also do this against the wall. And if you're feeling a little discomfort, it's because this is an intense hip opener. And we carry a lot of stress in our hips. And there's a lot of stress out there. So breathe into it and relax into it. Check in with your head. Is your head fighting the breath? Is your head fighting your body? Just come back to the breath and breathe. And be kind to yourself. Use kind language and be gentle. Boy, I can feel that hip opening. Two more breaths here. And now plant your hands on the mat. And you might have to come up just a little bit, but bring your right knee or your right foot over to the right side of your mat. You can keep your knee down or come up off your knee, but let's do lizard lunge right here. I like to have my knee down, and then I like to open up here. If this is not working for you, you can come down to your forearms, stay on a block. One more breath here. And then bring your foot kind of back to the middle of your mat. Slowly. And come into half splits. Bend your toes up towards your knee, back up towards yourself. Now, if you're in half splits and you're comfortable and you're good, that's great. If you want to try full splits, now I'm just going to preface this by saying I did this earlier, but every time's different. So utilize your block. So I'm ooching my right foot forward, and then I'm ooching my left leg back. I'm not sure how this looks, but I've never done this before except earlier. So how fun is that? You just never know. And wherever you are, I'll remove this block. Move up just a little bit. There we go. Bring come into tabletop. Breath in. Breath out. Curl your toes. And inhale up to down dog. Inhale your left leg high in the sky. Bring it through. Half pigeon. Find your calm. Find your spot. Take your breath. And then fold. Utilize a block on this side. Get that good alignment. And we'll be here for at least 5 breaths, maybe more. I don't know, this side feels pretty good. 2 more breaths here. And come up just a little bit, ooch up a little bit. That's that official yoga term. And take your left foot and walk it over. Bring it around, however you get there, into lizard lunge. And again, you can come up off your knee, or you can come down to your knee. And then take this stretch where it works for you. Maybe do a twist. Come to your forearms if that feels better. One more breath in here in lizard lunge. And then walk your left foot back to the center of the mat and come into half splits. And then again, if you want to try full splits, oh, it's not feeling as good on this side. So, whatever works, come out of it. Yeah, that wasn't fun. So I'll come into half splits. And that's okay. I'll keep practicing. And now come out of half splits. Come up to your knees. Come back into tabletop. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. And then come into a seated position and roll back flat on your mat. Breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. And now recline butterfly again. So this is the pose we started with. Supta Baddha Konasana. So when you're in this pose and you're connecting with your breath, see if it feels different now than it did when we first started. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's like, whatever. Maybe you feel a little more open. Maybe your hips are a little more open. You've utilized a little more breath through your body. Your chest and your heart are open. And just breathe. One more breath here. And slowly bring your knees together. You can use your bolster, you can use a pillow, roll up a blanket, but whatever you're using, take it underneath your sacrum, which is basically kind of your butt bone. It's not your vertebrae, you're not your spine. And then bring your legs up in the air for waterfall. Waterfall is a great yoga pose. It seems like a simple yoga pose, but it releases the gravitational pull on your body. It gives your organs a break, gives your heart a break. It promotes calm and relaxation. And what I like to do is when I'm against the wall, do a wide waterfall. And just breathe. If this isn't enough of an inversion for you, you're welcome to do plow or deaf man's pose or shoulder stance. Maybe you want to do a headstand. Make sure you have someone there. Maybe not do it by yourself. Be safe. Couple more rounds of breath here. Wherever you are. And then release the block or the bolster or the blanket and come into happy baby. I like to rock back and forth. Bring one leg in, your right leg in, and your left leg in. Just rock back and forth. And then bring your knees into your chest and twist to the right. Look over your opposite shoulder. Come back to center and twist to your left. And look over your opposite shoulder. I'm not sure what time it is. Hi, Susie. Oh, and then come back to center. And then for our last pose, you can use a block, but the blocks I have here at the house are these hard cork ones. Not my favorites. But you can use a block, but let's go into supported fish, okay? So I'll show you, I'll demonstrate with the block, but I like to use a bolster. So make sure the block is in between your shoulder blades. Oh, well, that's not so bad. Your forearms are at an angle, they're bent, feet together, zipped together like they're in a sleeping bag, and then just let your head hang. Now you are welcome to stay right here. Here's my support. Yeah, I like this. And you're welcome to stay here in supported fish. And if there's a pose that I did not go over that you absolutely need right now, then please take it. You know, take what you need and leave the rest. Otherwise, come into Shavasana. And I don't know how dark it's going to get in here, so let me try some things, but that's not too bad. Y'all can still see me. And I want you to lay flat on your back in Shavasana. And if you have something to prop up under your knees, you're welcome to do so. Splay your feet out wide toward the corners of your room or the walls. And hands and palms up. Your fingers are going to naturally curl in. But again, I like to keep my palms up and open, so that way I am there for giving and receiving. Energy will flow through my body. And you can come back to normal breath. And just let go. Let go of anything that does not serve you right here, right now, at this moment. And I say this a lot lately, because we're all in the same boat, in a lot of ways, on some level. And when I am truly going way down that rabbit hole in my head, and I'm about to drink the Kool-Aid, the first question I ask myself is this true? Right now at this moment. And for me, when I ask myself that question, a lot of that scary stuff will dissipate. Not that one won't pop back up at another time, which is okay. But at least for the moment, it's just not so scary. to slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring slight movement back into your body. Take a big stretch, big inhale, big stretch, arms over your head. Stretch your legs long. And it's that first morning stretch. Everything's new. And then roll to your side body. Whichever side you choose. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Thank your body for taking you through this practice. Come up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes closed. Hands to heart center. And let's take a cleansing breath here. Inhale through your nose. Now open your mouth. Make some noise. I want to thank you for being here with me tonight. I miss everybody. I miss being able to touch people, which sounds kind of pervy in a way, but you know, everybody's in the same boat. Anyway, the light in me sees and honors the light in you, and together we say, Namaste. Thank you, yogis. I'm glad y'all could join me. I needed that. And don't forget, on Tuesdays at 4:30, I do a slow flow. So, and check out the Yoga Gypsy website, because Dee is doing virtual classes online as well. Namaste. Good night.